morning and welcome to my channel. My name is Joyce and I'm so glad you're here. If you have been here a minute, thank you so much. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. I hope you subscribe and that you'll find the information on this channel absolutely valuable. So today I wanted to talk about something that we know quite well, but I think in terms of application, we don't always apply. And this is the idea of identity. And I don't mean it in the mainstream definition of identity. I mean in the sense of belonging. Who are you? Who do they say you are? Who do you act like? Because ultimately, who we believe we are is essentially how we behave. So for example, let's say you're a manager at work. You know that is your role at work. When you pop in, you're wearing that hat. You know your responsibilities. You know people that look up to you or need your support. You know if you need to authorize annual leave. If something goes wrong, you're the person that people go to. Whatever that identity is, right? A manager at work means this is what you do and this is how you behave and this is how you show up. And it's essentially the same thing about who you believe yourself to be. Because if you believe, for example, that you are, downtrodden and nothing works out for you and everything is always a mess, what you're going to have in your life is exactly based on what you believe. Yeah, I know. We've heard this before, but how often do we actually practice it? And that's the thing, isn't it? Knowledge is different from wisdom. Because when you know something, you know it. We know about gravity. We know we should be eating well. We know we should be, not just eating well. Sorry, I'm just locking my door. We know we should be eating well. We know we should be respectful to, people around us. We know we should be aware of toxic friendships. We know all of that stuff, but how often do we do it? We know we should exercise for our well-being. How often do we do it? All of that is essentially tied to how you see yourself. And that's why identity matters. It's so important for you to reevaluate yourself every so often. For me, I'm on a trip of having to reevaluate myself every so often, and it's about, because I know who I am and I know what my goals are, and I know in order to achieve certain goals I have to believe a certain way. So for example, if you are a Christian, there are tenets that you have to live by. And there are standards and behaviors and, the way we speak, the way we, spend our day or our Sunday is very different from somebody who isn't a Christian, right? And so that identity of being a Christian bestows upon you a different way of living. And it's exactly the same thing. If you believe yourself to be a certain kind of person, then you are going to behave according to the standards and the tenets and the way of life of that particular person. If you feel you're disadvantaged, if you feel you're wealthy, if you feel the world is your oyster, all of that jazz brings about how you behave. And so that is why your identity matters. Who you believe yourself to be matters. And so going forward from today, think about that. Think about what you believe about yourself and about others as well. Because ultimately, what we hold others to in our world, they behave according to what we think they are. Have you ever seen somebody or been with a partner that's been absolutely wonderful to you, but the previous partner has said they were probably the worst person they've ever been with, and that's probably why they dumped them? Or you could say the same. That's probably why you dumped that person, because you know what they're like and you wondered if they'd ever meet a person that would take them. But they do somehow, because for some reason, people behave differently to certain people. Why is that? Sometimes it's just they're horrible people, but sometimes it's about what we believe about them. And therefore we hold them in a space where they're obligated to believe that way. And it's not just believe, because if we believe somebody is a terrible partner, I don't think they're going to act any different, because they're just going to live according to our expectations and the standard we've set for them. Now, that's not to say that we're responsible for other people's behavior. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that people only live according to the standards we set for them. And it is up to us to walk away from areas and people that we know are already toxic than wait for them to change. It is not your place, right? So get me, this is not what I'm saying. But your identity really matters. I think this really requires a lot more time than just a 5-minute video. But what we believe about ourselves, let's not get distracted, is the most important thing in life. And if there's one thing this channel will probably instill in you, if you hang enough, is that what you believe about yourself is the most important thing in your life ever. And so it's important for you to reevaluate your life, to look at how you're living, to evaluate constantly, really, how you believe about yourself and the world around you, because it is only a mirror. Have you heard that before? The world is only a mirror of what you believe it to be. And so set the standard, choose different, and have a life that you've always imagined, because it comes from the inside out, not from the outside in. Although sometimes it can work, right? There's people that are influenced. And for me, I was a long time. For the longest time, I was influenced by the external until I realized that I could influence. And it's probably one of the most powerful things you could do in your life, is to influence your life and your world from the inside out. Have an incredible day, and I'll speak to you very soon. Take care. Bye.